Ever since the release of Atlas passives, there's been nearly endless debate on what's best, with this changing more or less every league due to nerfs, buffs, and changing economies. With 3.16, Scourge League, we're changing that debate yet again. This time, it's not which of 8 regions is best, it's which of 4, which, depending on how you look at it, means each region is now twice as good, or you have half as many choices, or maybe you have twice as many choices because no one really farmed all 8 regions anyway. Most of us just stuck to the favorite 1, 2, or 3 if you're feeling really spicy. There's a lot we don't know about how Atlas passives and Scourge are going to interact with the Path of Exile economy. You can certainly speculate what will be good and what will be bad based on the changes. That's exactly what a lot of content creators and theory crafters have been doing. Today, I didn't really want to talk about what's best or worst in an objective sense, though. I wanted to talk about it in a subjective sense, and lay out which passives I'm going to be going for, and why. More or less, I'm giving you all my secret League Start Atlas strategy to make all of the money. And if you approve of me making all of the money, and want to help me out, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell, so that you can see whenever I upload, and please the almighty algorithm. So first up we have Valdo's Rest, which is famed for Harbingers, and guess what? The first thing I'm going to take is Ominous Arrival for an additional Harbinger, followed by Diplomatic Escort for a chance for Harbingers to be replaced with a Harbinger boss. Because who doesn't like free stacks of currency that will hopefully be stacked a little bit better so you don't have to pick up as many. From there, I'm going to go into Guarded Hordes and Sulfite Infusion. This is because one of the strategies that I really want to try early League is Delving. One of the changes in 3.16 is Delve's progression has been rapidly compressed. You're going to get to the dangerous and rewarding parts of Delve much faster. What this means is, as a crafter, I should be able to supply myself with a lot more of the fossils and resonators that I need early League by delving myself as opposed to being reliant on others doing it in specialized ways. Now, of course, we don't have a patch yet, and we haven't played, so this could end up failing. But my hope is that by expending Sulfite missions, getting double the Sulfite, getting Sulfite whenever I just kill something because I'm going after Harbingers, I should be able to get a good amount of Sulfite and do a good bit of delving. Then finally I'm going for Twice Tempted. This gives 1 strongbox per map with a 10% chance to double the effect. You can open it twice, and also strongboxes in areas have a 25% chance to be guarded by additional packs of monsters. So it's a little bit of free pack size in every map, and that should mean more Scourge juice. On top of that, I'll have a chance to open a strongbox twice and get a few extra rewards. I picked this because it's a single point and it's nice and passive. I won't have to worry about committing too many resources to scaling or managing this, which is especially important as I'm probably going to be throwing mostly Sulfite Scarabs at the area and raising the area quantity as much as possible. So my strategy is going to be Ominous Arrival into Diplomatic Escort to get Harbinger up and running for essentially free money every map, followed by Guarded Hordes, which is mostly just a travel node for me into Sulfite Infusion, where I'll start getting a lot of value. As I get Nico missions and as I get Sulfite Scarabs, Guarded Hordes will become better and better because it has a chance to double Sulfite when you force Sulfite onto the map. Then finally, again, Twice Tempted is just free quant and free pack size because strongboxes are good. Next up, Lira Arthain. Now for the early points, I'm definitely going to go Inside Job into Secret Stash. This is because Heist has incredible value early League, either by running it yourself or by selling all of the contracts and blueprints to other people who are definitely going to be running it. From there, I have 2 options, and I'm kind of undecided here. On the one hand, I do think Breachstones could have high value, which means that picking up Gatekeepers early and then rushing into Flash Breach could be very good. On the other hand, Expedition was absurdly profitable last League, especially with logbooks. So I could see myself going Distinguished Demolitionist into Buried Knowledge instead. For a 5th choice, I could take the matching one of either Ancient Writings or Within Their Grasp, or alternatively, I could go into what would essentially be the 3rd node from the other side. So an example of this would be I could do Inside Job, into Secret Stash, into Gatekeepers, into Flash Breach, into Distinguished Demolitionist. And this might be a way to get a little bit of my cake while also eating it too, as I don't think either Within Their Grasp or Ancient Writings is going to provide a ton of value. A 5% chance to drop a Breachstone isn't that great. Not without Watchstones anyway, and I'm not going to be prioritizing Watchstones in this region. And while a pure is a nice payday every once in a while, now we're looking at a 1% chance of a 5% chance. Which means I'd get roughly 1 pure breachstone per 2,000 maps, which really isn't very good odds. Similarly, Ancient Writings is a 40% chance for an additional suffix modifier on remnants and +2 remnants, but a lot of the time you're not going after remnants anyway, you're going after runic monster markers, especially if you're investing heavily into Expedition. So that is my strategy for Lira Arthain. I think most likely I'm going to end up with Inside Job, into Secret Stash, into Gatekeepers, into Flash Breach, into Distinguished Demolitionist, and then at some point, probably about a week in, I'm going to drop Flash Breach, not really do so many breaches, and switch to Buried Knowledge. Third out of our 4 amazing regions, there's Glennach Cairns. In this one, this is purely a personal choice. I'm probably going to rush resource reallocation into contested development. While you do get quite a bit of value from Total Anarchy and Rogue Trader, so much value that I'm kind of considering it, I don't really plan to do a lot in Glennach, so I'd rather go with the temple stuff so that when I want to run my alvas and use my missions, I can get value out of it. And at some point when I've decided it's more economical to just buy the temples, I will drop those nodes and respec into Total Anarchy and Rogue Trader. Of course, from there I'm going to go into Scent of Blood, followed by Per Demon, and finally Torn Veil, because free Beyond stuff is always great. This is going to be a really strong zone for high-level mapping, especially with a Scourge mechanic where you can probably use Beyond Demons to feed your Bloodlust to go fight Scourge Demons. But I'm not going to invest in it too heavily or too early, simply because I'm going to be mostly focused on Haewark Hamlet. Haewark Hamlet is the most powerful region on the Atlas, and it's the one that I'm going to be investing in early, starting with Controlled Corruption and immediately rushing into Amplified. This is because you don't have to be in tier 16s or even red maps for essences to be insane value. This is especially the case when you can use low tier sextants to roll the essence modifier for additional essences and use Xana's map device to put even more essences on your map. So my early game farming is going to be farm essences and craft for profit or sell them. From there, I'm going to go into the harvest stuff because, well, harvest is still overpowered. Grove's Call is as good as it ever was, so I'll take that first, followed by Bumper Crop, chance to contain an additional harvest, and finally Heart of a Grove. One thing that has changed since previous leagues is harvest is going to be a little bit weaker without Watchstones, which means I'm going to spend a good bit of money early league, setting up and running some really good Watchstones, especially with the focus on harvest. Now, once I get later into the league, essence prices are probably going to fall off, and it's not going to feel as worth it to optimize around that. So at that point, what I'll do is switch one of my Watchstones over to Ritual, and I'll go Sacred Lands and Painted Blood. This respec should get me the ability to farm high item level bases, while also farming the incredibly valuable harvest, and it should hopefully give me a chance to never see one of the Shakos off of Oshabi, because I don't think Oshabi actually exists in the game anymore. It's just a conspiracy that GGG tells us to keep us doing harvest as if we didn't have enough reasons already. Finally, what about the Uncharted Realms? Well, you'll get progression in the Uncharted Realms much later than other things, since you have to do things like fight the Maven herself or fight the Feared if you want full completion. For this, and for early game, I'm only going to talk about 4 points, the first of which is Enduring Influence, because I want my sextants, if I'm rolling them for essences, to have one additional use. This means I essentially use a lot less sextants, especially during the rolling process. Next up, I'm going to go for Neural Pathways, because even in low red tier maps, which should be relatively easy to farm, I'll get a chance for every map to drop a synth map, and synth maps are quite valuable. From there, I'm going to go Remnants of the Past. Unique bosses have a chance to drop Elder or Shaper Guardian maps. Again, this is just extra value whether I run them or I sell them. And finally, Secrets of the Stones, because by this point I should have some Watchstones set up, and I want to get more value out of them. If you're wondering why I'm not going into the Cirrus progression stuff, it's because with tradable Watchstones, there's not really a reason to. You only need 4 to 6 Watchstones, and you can just buy the rest or get them by running Maven stuff. So that is my Atlas strategy for 3.16 Scourge League. It isn't the only way to do it, and honestly, depending on how much you want to specialize, it might not be the best way to do it for your build. I'm going for a build that's going to be generally well-rounded, can do maps, can do bossing, can do delve, etc. But if you're only good at bossing, you might want to spec very differently. If you're only good at mapping, then you might run into some problems. And if you're only a delver, well, you're probably going to be running someplace that's not Haewark Hamlet. But what do you think? Have you found this helpful? Do you plan to copy my strategy? Or do you want to do something completely different? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. And again, a special thanks to my patrons and YouTube channel members. If you want to support me, you can do so by clicking the links down in the description below or on screen right now. You can also support by making purchases through my Nexus page. Or if you just want to chill and hang out, be sure to join the Discord. Again, links for everything are down in the description below. Thank you, and have a great day.